there's a lot of really great destinations, and Vegas is kind of an easy hub because it's an international airport. Everybody can fly in,
of course,
visit for a couple of days, or you know, do a one-way rental for us.
He's here for another week. Don't start getting tears for him. Just sort them out. We got all the time. This is it. We're inside EagleRider Las Vegas. Great location, easy to get to. If you fly in, take you probably not even 10 minutes in a cab. But these are all rental machines. Take your choice. Yamahas, BMWs, and obviously Harley Davidsons. And then here we are. Rentals and tours, EagleRider USA, established 1992. Anyway, let's get this thing checked in. This is what done me proud. 1,600 miles, LA to Vegas, not direct, as you can well imagine from our videos. But yeah, Road Glide Limited, done the job perfectly, really comfy, highly recommend one. Anyway, to make sure we're all good to go. Good to show the subscribers what actually goes on behind the walls. Yeah, so we're inside the EagleRider at Las Vegas depot now, and this, oh my god, this is huge. So what size is this again?
Well, the whole building is about 40,000 square feet. 40,000 square feet, shit. So these are all back from rental, are they? That you have to put them all through a... Yep, everything has to be safety checked every time it gets rented before it goes back out again. It's part of our safety protocol, just to make sure everything's in perfect condition before it gets out on the road. And then we also check them too, depending on how long somebody's going to go out. Because if you're going to be going out and riding from here to Chicago, you need a bike that's good for... Yeah, sure, go there. Yeah, it's fine. You need a bike that's going to be good for 2,000 miles, so your tires, your brakes, everything else needs to be in a minimum of 2,000 to 2,500 miles, so it's in good shape.
Yeah.
One funny story, when I was actually building this location 6 years ago, the construction company wanted to charge us a lot of money for the countertops, for a stainless steel countertop. And so I ended up, to save some money when we were building it, ended up doing granite countertops. So some of the technicians laugh a little bit and go, we're the only service center with granite countertops, but it was half the price.
Was it?
Yes.
So granite's half the price of stainless?
Yes. Funny, huh?
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, you can see the whole
and it'll last longer.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's amazing. I was like, well, who didn't do this in the first place?
Yeah, you've set a standard now for EagleRider across all.
Yes.
So these guys are probably busier than some of the main Harley dealerships.
Yes.
With what's coming in.
Absolutely, because we're turning a lot more bikes. This location at its peak time can have upwards of 100+ bikes per day going out of it. Wow. So it's we always joke in Las Vegas and say we work harder for less money because there's more short-term 2- and 3-day rentals in Vegas. So these guys have to work a lot harder than a location like, say, Los Angeles or Chicago, where our average rental is 10 to 14 days.
Right.
They don't have to touch or
yours
clean
is
the
quick
bike.
churn.
So lots of cleaning, lots of service, double-checking everything as they turn around.
The most people that come in here for a rental then, are they just literally doing local ride-outs?
There's a lot of 1- to 3-day rentals, because if you think about where we are, you could easily ride from here to Los Angeles in like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You can easily be in the Grand Canyon in 4 or 5 hours. You could be up in Zion in Utah, which is where you guys saw. That's only a couple hours, 4 or 5 hours away. So there's a lot of really great destinations, and Vegas is kind of an easy hub because it's an international airport. Everybody can fly in, visit for a couple days, or do a one-way rental for us.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, this is Ben. So you're the SVP
of operations.
Yes. Based out of Vegas.
Yes.
So you must have hit gold when you got this gig.
Well, I started here as a general manager running the store.
Right.
And then I did that for about 3 years and became the regional manager.
and then I've been I was the vice president for about 5 years, and then just this year became the senior vice president.
Right, nice. Well, congratulations.
No, it's a great company, a lot of great people. We really love what we do. You know, our average employee is 10, 15 years with the company.
Is it?
They just love it.
Yeah.
T, who's our senior vice president in charge of all of our guided tours and wholesale, she's been with the company for 27 years.
Wow. That's longer than our business has been going.
Yeah. She was employee number 3.
Was she really?
Yeah. Yeah, so a little over 30 years EagleRider's been going, and you know, our famous slogan of, you know, we rent dreams.
Yeah.
We try to make everything as perfect as we can, but you know, stuff happens. They're machines.
Of course, yeah. Which we had that experience when we've done Route 66, but I can honestly say that the trip and the route that we've done this time round, not a single problem, was there?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, that's the goal, but it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't always happen,
No.
you know, but we do our best to try and make things right.
I think it's all about understanding that when something goes wrong, it's how well and how quick it gets resolved.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's where you guys excel. You know, I hear about other rental companies, and you're kind of left on your own, and that's it.
The other neat thing you might want to see too is there's some stairs we can go up that takes us up to our central reservations department.
Oh, okay.
And that's where all the calls in from around the world come in, and we have people that speak 7 different languages and answer the phone.
Oh, so that's all done from here?
It's all done from here. So this is our central hub for all. They used to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we said, oh, we should move it to Vegas because it's easier, you know, to kind of grow that piece of the business. And everybody said, no, you're crazy. It's impossible. You can't do that out of Vegas. And here we are, now running everything out of Vegas. So
wow, why not?
Yeah.
It's only a location, right?
Well, and Vegas has grown so much in the last 10 years. It's incredible. You know, they're adding a hockey team, a football team, soon probably a
LA
baseball
Raiders
team.
came here, right?
Yeah. The Raiders are here now. Well, I think they were LA, then they went to Oakland, then they went to LA, then they went back to Oakland, and now they're in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
And the F1 in October.
F1's coming here in October.
Yep, so we have the Formula 1 races. That should be pretty exciting with them shutting down the strip and seeing the cars.
That's going to be mental.
It's been over 30 years since they've done the F1 racing in Las Vegas. We don't sell to the public. Kind of like we work directly with the dealers to basically sell the bikes, and we make sure they're maintained in a minimum quality condition that we want to make sure that the dealers are comfortable and happy with. So that's how we're able to kind of purchase new bikes and keep rotating it. And
This was a topic of conversation actually a few days ago, and we were sort of saying that when you're buying in so many, there's a route in, but there's got to be a route back out again.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to end up with
tons of bikes.
Of metal and plastic.
Absolutely.
How many bikes have you got out at any one time?
I think the peak we've seen is about 3,800 bikes. Company-wide, that we've had kind of in our rental fleet, and again, obviously we have a lot of Harleys. We have Yamaha, BMW, Honda. There's a big variety of motorcycles that we carry.
But would you say about 90% is Harley?
Probably 70.
70, right? Okay.
Yeah. So we do get a good amount of varieties of other types of motorcycles that people do want to ride, and it's also the budget side, right? You know, so we're able to rent out some of the other bikes that don't cost $30,000 at a more affordable price for. Not everybody's ready to pay, you know.
There's always a price point with everybody, right?
Well, everybody wants to drive the Ferrari, but you know, again, you got to work your way up to that, right?
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. But so these have gone through workshop.
Yes.
And now here, are these now allocated to a dealer, or are they available for a dealer?
So they're put into a list, and then Josh, who's our director of remarketing, he goes through that list and contacts dealers and says, all right, here's the bikes I have, here's the mileage, here's the condition code that are on them, here's how they scored as far as everything on. We have a minimum that we have to have them score to, which is generally around a 78. Before we'll consider selling them back to the dealer.
So 78 is a downgrade from 100% being factory brand new, down to 0 being should be in the scrap heap.
Yep, and if you're at the auction, generally a lot of things you'll see at the auction will be around 72 to 74.
Okay.
So we're well above that standard. And when you're seeing something at a dealership that's used, it's going to be somewhere between a 75 and a 78 generally.
So is this all of EagleRider bikes, or is there another place that does this?
Oh no, yeah. So we do this out of Las Vegas. We do it out of Los Angeles. We do it out of New Orleans. We do it out of Miami. We do it out of Chicago. We do it out of Denver, San Francisco.
Right, that's a lot of stuff.
Seattle, yeah. Yeah, so we have a lot of locations that we do this stuff out of. That's how we're able to do the one-ways where people can take the bikes from one location to the other and drop them off, and then we can reallocate the fleet between locations for where it makes sense based on the future reservations.
Do you have like literally trucks of bikes going backwards and forwards to locations though?
Sometimes.
You must get to the point where a lot of people that do Route 66 are generally doing east to west.
Well, and so
You've got to replenish that stock, right?
Kind of. So we're smart in that regard too, because we order new bikes every year. So we'll order a lot of the new bikes to be delivered into like Milwaukee, Chicago area. So then they're taking some of the brand new bikes out of there and taking them out west. We'll reallocate those bikes out west and then get new bikes again into Milwaukee. So we'll get some customers.
So the customers are transporting them, which is a logistical dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we also have 2 semi-trucks that we have from basically May through September roaming 30 days all year, all month long, moving bikes as we want them to. So all they do is work for us, and we tell them, here's where we want to move around based on future reservations, because the reservation trend changes. It's funny because all of a sudden we'll get a ton of reservations out of New Orleans, then it will switch to maybe Miami, or it'll switch to Chicago.
We've got 18 bikes at home, and I know what it's like logistically to make sure they're serviced and that, you know, all of the things that need to be done annually. Whereas when you've got 3,800 or 4,000 bikes in your fleet, you know, you're going to get to the point where you're going, we need that bike, but where's the keys?
Yeah, so we definitely have systems when it comes to a lot of that stuff, and when as we grew, you know, we'll ground anywhere between 100 and 400 bikes a month as we're getting new ones in, and those then have to go through the refurbishment process. Then that goes into a different department where now they have to, you know, take pictures of it. I mean, you can look at some of these bikes here and check the, we'll kind of probably trip you out and look at some of them, and you see the miles that are on them. So this is going to be a 2022.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so the oldest bike in our fleet right now is a 2022.
And that's done 22,000 miles, and it's a year old.
I've seen a bike do 25,000 miles in 6 months.
Right.
All you gotta do is send it to Route 66 about, you know, 5 or 6 times.
Half a dozen times and it's done, right?
And you're there.
And you say these aren't available to the public, so these have to go through the dealer channel. Is that because of the relationship that you have with Harley? Correct. Yeah, otherwise they're going to say, hold on, you're buying it.
You're buying our new bikes, and then the dealer's going to get upset too, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So
it's a network to worry about.
And it's a lot easier, it's less headache for us too to sell a dealer 100 bikes and not have to do paperwork with all the individual. Yeah, yes, it's a little bit of a lower price on the wholesale piece, but headache-wise,
you don't want 400 John Does walking through your front door.
Well, then you got to have sales licenses and paperwork, and you're selling insurance and all the other different things that go into it. We don't have to deal with any of that.
But I guess in the same light, the dealerships love you because they know that they can buy in good stock.
Correct.
So it's high mileage, but well maintained. Because you've got to remember, someone else who might have bought that privately, they might rack up those miles in a year, but they might not have serviced it and maintained it.
And so all of our service records go with every single bike. Right. So digitally, every time a bike goes on rent, every time it gets serviced is tracked through the life of the bike. So if somebody goes, hey, I want to see the service records for this bike for the last year since it's been here, we can pull it all up and tell you exactly what technician worked on it, what parts were replaced. And obviously there's no mileage limit on Harley's manufacturer 2-year warranty, so they're all under warranty as well. So when you're buying a bike, is there something wrong with the bike, it's covered. And all of our technicians are Harley-Davidson factory trained technicians as well, certified at the same level.
And I'm guessing the only thing you add and then remove is the rack and the sissy bar. That's it?
Yep, and then we just reuse it on the next bike.
Yeah, of course.
So it's very easy.
Until they bring out the new ones.
They do that every once in a while. Yeah. But usually all they'll do is they'll change how it docks, but the rack and the attaching sissy bar will still usually attach. It's just they change where it mounts to, and you have to buy an adapter.
I'll hold you to that, Ben, because when I get my new CVO, which I've just ordered, which is this new VVTi engine job, I'm going to see if some of my CVO stuff that I've put on mine will fit. I bet my seat won't.
Depends how old
22.
No, that should fit.
Yeah,
it should fit. Because they do that every once in a while. I remember in I think it was 2014, they changed all of it, and none of our stuff fit anymore. We had to buy adapters. So it wasn't like we had to do everything, but we had to buy new adapters that connected it up.
Yeah, and that's a lot of adapters that you have to buy.
Yes, it is. It is. And but again, that's part of the experience too. You know, you want to have. If I was going to take my wife out, she'd want to have that sissy bar and that luggage rack. It's absolutely essential to the ride. Yeah.
Well, we're doing next week. We're actually doing the Budapest trip. So we're riding from home. It's 3,500 mile round trip to Budapest. Wow. So we're taking. Sarah's got a Heritage Classic, and I've got the CVO Road Glide. and we've kind of got the sissy bar and the thing on there, so we're trying to work out how we can then put another bag between and sort of strap it all down, and I don't know, we're going to have fun and games with that when we get back home to sort of do a bit of a dummy
Joanna
run.
with her luggage truck behind us.
Yeah, where we saying that? Where's Joanna?
Come to the UK.
I'll tell you a funny story about Joanna. I met Joanna when I first moved here to Las Vegas 10 years ago. She did not work for us at the time. She was an instructor at the Harley dealership teaching people how to ride. And at the time, I was an instructor too, and I wanted to maintain my certification, so I ended up going and meeting her. And I said, hey, you know, can I teach with you a couple times a year to maintain my certification? And she's a retired police officer, and we covered her a lot of her history. And we started working together for years, and I said, you should really be doing some tours with us. Like, you would love it. You get to sit on a motorcycle, deal with fabulous people, and see the country. And she's like, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And so I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago she started jumping on with us, doing some tours, and I think she has a lot of fun.
Yeah, she was phenomenal, to be honest. She was absolutely fantastic, and she was really itching to get on a bike, wasn't she?
She likes to ride. She's definitely a rider for sure.
Yeah, and she can ride by the sounds of it as well.
Yes, she can.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with her sometimes.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's probably why she shouldn't be leading. We're all like, where's Joanna gone?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we always joke about McIntyre, who was one of the founders of the company. Like, he's like, don't ever put me as the lead tour guide, you know, because he just takes off. And we're like, where did he go? Where do we turn?
Hi.
She runs the whole team up here.
Are you the boss? That's really you.
How was it?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Really good.
We had about 15 minutes of rain throughout the whole thing, and that was it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it was absolutely spot on.
Excellent.
Well, sleep.
It was sleet, yeah. Well, and hail, I think.
Stefano got one on the nipple. He wasn't happy.
He's a good guy.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, so this is set up so all the different cubicles for all the different times of the day. They'll come in early in the morning. Yes. And some people will be here late, and so they're there answering the phone, helping people with questions they have about rentals or about locations. So they probably have one of the hardest jobs because they got to know all the locations. You know, people are going to ask how far is it from the airport. You know, we're talking about 100+ locations that can be challenging.
Yeah.
But they do a great job, and like I said, they speak a lot of different languages, and that makes it very useful because people call in sometimes and they only speak French, or they only speak German or Italian or whatever the case may be.
See, we don't think of that side of it, do we? We know that we go on these tours and there are, like for example, we had a couple of Italians on this one, and that their English was very good.
Yes.
Obviously damn sight better than our Italian. But you do sort of think, and we had a couple last year, didn't we? That Portuguese couple didn't speak a word of English.
Well, the Brazilians as well. The son was doing translation, but
Yeah.
I've heard that France is one of your big emerging markets.
It is.
For rentals, so.
It is. So we have several French-speaking. So another thing we do as well, so a lot of our general managers also speak multiple languages. So if we ever get in a really big bind where we're short a tour guide or somebody that's going to be on a specific tour, we can always swap somebody out and pull that general manager out of, say, Palm Springs or New York, a guy that speaks multiple languages, and go, okay, somebody else can cover this tour for him. He's going to lead this tour, so we're never stuck in a situation where we completely have no option.
It's nice to be able to have that facility.
Flexibility,
Yeah, flexibility.
It costs you a little more money, but you know, again, better than having the people that are on this tour going, "Hey, nobody speaks your language." I mean, that could be about as frustrating. I can imagine if I flew to Germany and nobody spoke English, and I'm like, "Oh, I thought I had a tour operator that spoke English." And
Yeah.
Well, it can be quite dangerous as well. Obviously, you ride motorbikes in a foreign
Yes.
country with different laws of what to do and what not to do. So.
And road etiquette. You know, because we drive completely different in Europe than you do in the States, and you know, this whole
different sides of the
doesn't matter what
road.
lane you're in, you can just go whatever. Whereas you know, there's you know, overtaking lanes and all sorts in Europe. So yeah, it does make for a very challenging experience for some. And also, I suppose you have to bear in mind that you don't want them to then go away and have a bad experience that will then knock on with 30 people that they then know.
Yeah, and we have some customers that have done, you know, 7, 8+ guided tours with us. Okay, I did the Wild West, I want to do the, you know, biker blues and barbecue out of New Orleans, or I want to go up through Tennessee, we're heading Alaska next year, which is going to be kind of exciting.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, you think people go, well, Alaska's not that far, and I go,
a long way.
well, from Las Vegas to Anchorage, Alaska is the same distance from Las Vegas to Boston. So when you think about it like that, you're like, oh, it really is pretty
just
far.
not east.
Yeah.
It's going north.
Yes.
And we're getting colder and colder and colder.
Yes.
What's the place that's furthest north? Is it Dark Horse? No. What's the place?
Where? Which way?
Dead Horse.
You know that Dead Horse? That's Alaska, isn't it?
I think so. We operate out of Anchorage up there. That's,
Right.
And then, but what before that, the next closest one is Vancouver, which is quite some distance between
that's not
Vancouver.
close, is it?
Probably 2,000 miles, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite the distance.
But we're going to be getting on a few more. I know that we've definitely got to come back and finish the business that we've started with this, because we kind of realised that we should have done the whole thing now rather than just finish at Vegas. But it's good timing for us. I think it'd be good for us to come back and do that second half. But we were talking to Sean about doing coast to coast in September, but I'm actually getting more warm feeling about doing the Seattle up, down through Yellowstone and back into Salt Lake City.
And that's a beautiful ride.
Yeah.
Through there.
Because
Absolutely.
we've been spoiled on this. This has been absolutely.
And you had perfect weather too.
Yeah.
For the
great
most
time
part.
of year for it.
Not been too hot at all.
No.
Yeah, we were supposed to actually be on the tour with you guys. We were going to jump on this one, and then Carson had an emergency situation that came up.
So that yourself and Carson?
Yeah, we were going to jump on it, and something changed, and no longer would the scenario work in the timeline, so we had to jump out. But yeah, I would have loved to go.
Oh, you missed a great trip.
I'm sure.
We'll have to do it another time.
Stefan had done a great job, didn't he?
Yeah.
He kept us all under control.
And it was really nice actually having a smaller group as well. With the riding as well. Just trying to,
It made things like fuel stops and that.
Yeah.
so much
Superb.
slip.
Yeah, in and out in like 5 minutes.
Well, and we try to keep them a little bit smaller in general. You know, some companies go out there and they'll add, 28 or 30 people into the group, and it's too many people. Like you lose that experience, that you really want to have, because when you have that many bikes, everything takes longer. It stretches out your day, and you spend more time waiting to take off and stop.
It's not as relaxing. You're concentrating more on everybody around you rather than the actual scenery that's beyond those people.
Another really fun one to do too is our going down to Cabo San Lucas from Los Angeles, and that's a really fun trip. You go down all the way through the different cities of Mexico, and we already have relationships with several of the mayors in Rosarito and other places, so that way if we have any issues, we already know who to call and talk to. We've already worked out all the details.
Oh wow! What sort of mileage is that?
It's probably around 1,200 miles or so.
Oh, okay.
One way down there.
Yeah, so what's that, week tour again?
Yeah, about 7 days.
Starts where?
So there's two parts of it. So there's a 7-day that goes from LA down to Cabo, and then there's a 7-day that goes from Cabo back to LA.
Same route or slightly different?
It's a little bit different, but some people most people they don't have the time, so they just do half of the trip.
Yeah.
So,
Which is better, south or north?
It depends where you want to end up, right? You know, like what's your vacation plan? Do you want to stay in Mexico for a couple more days and enjoy an all-inclusive resort down there? Because it's definitely cheaper than the hotel and the all-inclusive piece you try and find in Los Angeles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's all about how you want to build your vacation, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's not wrong. There's so many to choose from.
There is. And the other thing we're going to be kicking off this year too is we're adding some of those side-by-side off-road vehicles in Sturgis.
Nice.
And so we're going to be doing off-road tours through some of the old abandoned mines up in Sturgis and the Black Hills. And then we're going to eventually bring that to Las Vegas as well.
When we're coming from Bryce Canyon,
Yeah, there's a lot of ATVs everywhere.
And I kept saying to you on the intercom, didn't I? So I've got to come back here and do that. It looks.
Well, so you better do it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that you've told us that,
Well, Utah is just so pretty.
It really is. So many amazing things to see all the way through Utah, and you can't really see it in a couple of days. The amount of stuff to go through when you go through Bryce Canyon and Zion and Moab and all those different places.
Well, when we were at Bryce Canyon, it was last night, wasn't it? And we stood there, and there was these 1.6 mile or 3 mile trail. And I said to Sarah, I said, right, that's it. We're getting an RV. We're coming to the States for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And we're going to, and just pitching up for like 3 or 4 weeks and just exploring.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do that. That's just going to be an epic.
Yeah.
Or you could hire a bike through you guys, do a self-guided tour and actually take a few more extra days and actually stay there.
Yeah, and we can plan a full self-guided tour for you with the different hotels that we recommend that are motorcycle friendly, and depending on the quality you want, if you want a 3, 4, or 5-star experience, we can schedule all of that so we know all the hotels to go through.
We don't mind as long as it's got a shower in there. We just don't do tents or teepees.
And internet.
Yeah, we need internet.
Right.
Yeah, that has been. Where did we stay? Monument Valley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we're like, I've got content to upload. I need to get uploaded, and it was like, no, there's nothing.
No chance. Just chill out and enjoy.
It's kind of like Death Valley. When you go through Death Valley, no matter where you're at, there's nothing out there. The signal's 1 bar if you're lucky.
Yeah. Do you know how many items we've got in total here?
Yes.
Anything from a key ring through to t-shirts. We're doing 52. Did Sean tell you?
Yes.
Yeah, 52 competitions throughout the year. So then for somebody who then wins each week to then go into the grand draw to go on Route 66.
It's competition time, courtesy of EagleRider Tours. And we have some incredible prizes up for grabs, including merchandise, club memberships, and an incredible grand prize of an EagleRider tour. And it couldn't be easier to enter. Simply post a picture or video to Instagram using the hashtags M&TM on tour and EagleRider. And with prizes being awarded both weekly and monthly, there's plenty of chances to win. So what are you waiting for? Get posting today and be in with the chance of winning your trip of a lifetime.
The rest of us are feeling a little bit, you know.
Oh, don't listen to him.
Just on the downside, but it's okay. It's
all right.
fine.
He's here for another week. Don't start getting tears for him.
Just we can't even get a coffee. You know.
We didn't get a Scotland punch.
We can't get a hot cup of coffee, but you're right. You take your time. Sweet as
Joanna,
sweet.
sort them out.
We got all the time.
It's beer o'clock. Can you hurry up?
There's beers on the coach, on the bus.
It's probably too small.
It is too small.
That's like a Jiffy Pop head.
You look like a proper trucker with down.
Well, I look like someone that should be in some of them little houses that are on the side of...
He had more gadgets coming off his bike. It was hilarious. You always knew where you were because there was stuff sticking every direction.
I think he could probably pass that off. Yeah.
Fucking with me, man? Are you
In Vegas,
with me,
anything
man?
with bling bling goes. So.
No, it looks great on you.
I think it's his shoes.
You notice I didn't say it to you.
Actually, it's a really nice.
You left me on the ground.
It's a nice cap, actually.
Not me.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd wear it out.
It looks good, actually.